great panel. It was. I know that you guys are sort of on spoiler lockdown, but I'm curious because one of the things that the cast.
I'm sorry, Jimmy, loud. Spoiler lockdown is like the greatest thing ever. I should get a shirt.
That's it, and get it out to the cast.
Yeah.
One of the things though that was like casually mentioned by the cast was everyone kept saying it was hard to say goodbye to the alternate universe characters. Do you have plans to reintroduce that in any of these 13, or have we really said goodbye to those people?
Okay, well I really mean that it's like I'm treating these 13 like a saga.
Yeah.
So it's like a 13 episode feature film, and so you're going to see a lot of things, and I ventured to bring up things from the past that haven't been answered, and I want to make sure that the characters are, evolving and self-actualizing in a way that we deserve and that we all expect. So having said that, there's always surprises. But, I mean, there's more surprises than I think people will understand yet. And that's good. I mean, because, I could only do what I wanted to do and what I would want. And watching a show, I'm a huge TV fan. So, I always look for the same thing, which is like, if I watched 4 years of a show, I want it to end like intelligently, and I want it to make sense, and I want to feel really good. But most importantly, I want to feel like, yes, everybody got what they deserved in some way or another. It makes logical sense, and I know why I was here. But also, when I get into my car the next day, I feel really good about imagining where the characters are. I can imagine like where their lives are going to go, and that was the effort. Okay, so having said that, now I'm also have the other part of this equation, which is like, well, what about all the things that are going to answer, and what about all these things that you put up into motion? And well, there's a lot of things you probably have forgotten about that will be answered, and then there's a lot of new things that will come across. But I could definitely say that there's going to be a satiation for the film, because I wanted it to be a love letter, and because I love my fans. I mean, they're the greatest. So I just want to make sure that everybody's like, wow. And then I would say, okay, gotcha.
You had a partner in the creative heavy lifting. Now it's on you. How's that different? And how is it not really that big of a?
Well, because there's. I'm going to miss Jeff because it's like having a buddy at work and you kind of hang out and you do it. And I always going to encourage people to be where they want to be. Ideas on Fringe, as you can imagine, are not the short. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we have such a rich tapestry, and there was a design that I had in that was sort of an influence that I'm interested in. That was you're going down that road. So I knew very well where I wanted to go. So whether or not he would have made it better or the same or whatever, I don't know. I want only for the best for the program, and I want everybody to sort of go after their creative things. And I personally, I love these characters to such an extent that I don't know how you can do it. He's a stronger man than me, maybe. I don't know. But there's 13 left. I mean, I was disappointed, and I'm sad, that we're not going to be able to hang out and do that stuff. But I know he'll be okay, and I know that there's other things he'll do, and we're really thrilled about where the show's going. So, still there's me and Keith, and we writers. We only got 3 writers this year, which is great. That's all we need, because I don't know if you guys know, but the series has been broken right away. So I'm already halfway through the season as far as writing is concerned. So I knew very well, what I was going to do, and it's a little bit different because it's the ending. So the ending requires like a lot of focus, and you have to kind of subtleties. Whereas at seasons past, I think that like episodic television is choppy. Like you can one week it's like, oh, she's mad because her boyfriend looked at some girl in a mart, and then the next week it's like, what, I don't want a boyfriend, I'm going to go out and play tennis. And so it's like every week there's a new emotional kind of thing, and that's the nature of the beast. But with this season, that's what you guys have been gearing up for, is for this last manifesto of, okay, this is a huge arc. There's an odyssey for Peter, an odyssey for Olivia, and an odyssey for Walt, and those odysseys are what you guys have invested in. And to make it all make sense, and to make it go, yes, I get it, was of paramount importance to me.
Well, given we did see some season 5 footage in that lovely trailer that you guys provided, how soon is that footage going to make our way onto the screen? Is it going to be the season
That's
premiere?
funny. That's not what I did. That's not true. After 419 was a test,
Right.
and I thought, well, if I can get 419 to be what it was, then I understand that people are interested in this, and I was certainly interested. So when I was trying to sell the show for the 5th season, they were like, Kevin's like, Kevin Riley, I need to come in and tell me what you want to do. What do you have in mind? And that's always a tense situation because you're kind of like, well, I can love it, and then like nobody gets to see season 5 because of me, which is great. So I said, no, I really want to make sure. So I came up with the idea to make this trailer.
Right.
So I cut it like I would cut one of my movie trailers.
Right.
And I said, okay, so I wrote some lines and I sent them off to set. So those aren't even really in the series. I just did those so Kevin could think, hey, they already have footage from next year. That's not true. So they did it, and then I cut it because Ari Margolis, who's our wizard, who does everything, and he did a smashing job. And literally, when we played it for Kevin, this is the greatest thing ever if you're a Fringe fan. He said, I was really nervous, and we put it in, we played it, we're sitting there, and he watched it, and he just looked at me and he went, thanks for coming in. That was it. And he loved the show. He loved it. He saw it and he got it. And it was the best thing to do, I think.
Did you walk out of that room knowing you had the next season? Did he officially tell you?
Yeah.
Okay, good.